Are you planning to introduce Black history movies to your kids? Here are the 10 Black history movies for kids to watch. Hidden Figures, 2016. Hidden Figures isn't specifically aimed at children, but it's certainly enjoyable enough to keep them entertained. The film chronicles the story of the African-American mathematicians who were instrumental in launching astronaut John Glenn into space. Hidden Figures is a reminder that there's more to every story than the white men who often place themselves at the center of the frame. NASA is a common topic in movies. Hidden Figures isn't a confrontational film, but it is a necessary counterpoint to decades of Hollywood-influenced history. The Princess and the Frog, 2009. The fact that The Princess and the Frog included Disney's first black princess was lauded at the time, and it is unquestionably a watershed moment, even if the fact that it occurred in 2009 is shocking. Despite the fact that it isn't directly about race, The Princess and the Frog puts a black, Southern experience front and center in a way that no other Disney film has attempted. It's not flawless, but the underlying relationship is worth celebrating, even if Tiana spends the most of the film as a frog. Soul, 2020. Soul not only contains some amazing cat jokes, but it's also a great example of a universal story portrayed from a black point of view. The story follows a jazz pianist who dies just minutes before his big break and understands how precious his life was. It's a lovely, poignant narrative that's well animated. Jon Batiste's amazing jazz music is also included throughout the program, and it only adds to the film's realism and vibrancy. Remember the Titans, 2000. Denzel Washington is consistently excellent, and he is the driving force behind Remember the Titans' success. The film, set in 1971 in Virginia, chronicles the narrative of two high schools being compelled to integrate, which leads to the integration of both high school football teams. The tension and gradual acceptance are what drives the film. The school employs a black man, Washington, to coach the newly amalgamated teams, and the tension and gradual acceptance are what drives the film. Remember the Titans doesn't contain the most complex message regarding race, but it's a great place to start. 42, 2013. 42 is a very standard biopic, but it doesn't make it a terrible film. In reality, Chadwick Boseman's portrayal of Jackie Robinson is fantastic, even if the film is constrained by its dependence on genre clichés. After joining Major League Baseball, Jackie Robinson encounters discrimination everywhere he goes and is obliged to show restraint when he should be enraged. Even if the film doesn't blow your mind, 42 pays honor to Robinson's vital role in the history of sports and civil rights in America. Zootopia, 2016. Zootopia doesn't have an obvious black/white dichotomy like the most of the films on this list, but it does have race on its mind throughout its running duration. The animals that make up the population are divided into predators and prey in the film, with the concept that predators are inherently harmful and should be controlled by the police. Naturally, Zootopia complicates that premise, and has some airily brilliant thoughts about the artificiality of race as a construct in its Disney-fied way. Spider-Man: Into the Spider-Verse, 2018. Into the Spider-Verse is great precisely because we get such a different version of the Spider-Man story than the one everyone knows. A film more about self-discovery than race, at least explicitly. Into the Spider-Verse is great because we get such a different version of the Spider-Man story than the one everyone knows. Despite having two married parents, our hero finds it difficult to connect with them. Miles Morales' backstory is different from Peter Parker's, And as he encounters Spider-Man from all across the universe, he understands that he's just as deserving of the mask as anyone else. To Kill a Mockingbird, 1962. To Kill a Mockingbird, a brilliant story that became a great film, may be a tough sell for kids who aren't fans of black and white films. However, if you have a very open-minded child, To Kill a Mockingbird will captivate them. The film, which follows a young girl whose father defends a black man accused of rape, depicts life in the Jim Crow South through the perspective of a young girl who is still learning how to understand the world around her. Hairspray, 2007. The 2007 film adaptation of the Hairspray musical is far better than you would recall, thanks in part to the fact that it is based on true ideas. The film follows an overnight dance success on a fake American bandstand who utilizes her newfound power to get the show integrated. Hairspray is a highly engaging film about true tolerance and equality, and it cleverly touches on concerns of appropriation. Although it may appear cliched, the film holds up better than you may think. The Great Debaters, 2007. Denzel Washington directs and acts in The Great Debaters, and his captivating on-screen character is a big part of the film's popularity. In the film, Washington portrays a professor at Wiley College, which is largely black, who establishes a debate team in the 1930s. While the story is one of a fairly conventional triumph, Washington adds lots of fascinating detail along the way. The Great Debaters is suitable for people of all ages. Is there any topic you want to tackle in our next videos? Please tell us in the comments section below. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more updates about your favorite celebrities.